Alright, we are in the easiest, most basic dungeon, which is pretty boring. There's not a lot of mobs, and all the bosses are kind of in the same basic room. I think this is the very first dungeon you get, called Fungal Grotto. I'm going to try to find a better one for us, but just in case we don't get one. You look at my group, it's me, a guy that's C347, which means he's gone 347 levels beyond level 50. And then two people who I think use their real names and are married. I mean, there's no one in a fantasy game who's going to call themselves Christina C. Ramirez. So I think they're that stupid or something. But, yeah, so we're going to start some of our group heals here. This person's drawing way too much aggro. I'm going to switch to sword and board and him out for a second. Some more healing. More sword and board. Hold down my mouse click to recharge my mana. Smite this guy a little bit. It's fun, as long as you can keep people up with their heals, you can switch to your other bar or use other skills to do damage. All kinds of little stuff. So I'll usually toss, especially when the battle's going just fine, I'll toss just a basic regen, heal over time, and then switch to the other bar. Some smiting, charge in for fun, and beat some shit up. Boy, they take a bunch of damage like that. Okay. For a bigger heal. Ramirez. My ultimate just to do a little melee damage on him. Yeah, this is pretty easy to set up. So that was my ground targeted heal that I use. Got a little, it's like a 5-second heal over time. And then I got my main resto heal, which is like a longer, like a 20-second heal over time. And then things get messy. I'll use the regen if it's just tank and spank. I'll use the 5-second heal over time, ground targeted if people took a big splash of damage like that just happened where he hit everybody in a radius. And if stuff's really hurting where the tank is hurting bad and people look like they need to die, I'll hit my second skill. That's your actual class heal. And just, I know it's a lot more mana hungry. I didn't only use it when I really need to, because right now I don't have a lot of gear that gives me extra mana. So I'll use that one unless I really got to. ESO is a little unique in that all the abilities are pretty spammable. But you'll run out of mana if you just spam them all really fast. So you have to kind of throw light attacks in between. If you're a DPS, your weapon actually has some skills and some, decent damage that you'll want to do. As mages and healers, we never think of our auto attack as being real damage, but it is a part of it here. So you throw in light attacks when you can in between. Light attacks just deal damage. Heavy attacks, where you hold your mouse button down, deals heavier damage, takes longer to cast, but it replenishes magic or stamina. So if you need some mana back or some stamina back, heavy attacks is what does that. So most of the time healers, because your damage isn't a big deal, healers are going to want to do heavy attacks, keep their mana topped off, and then switch to light attacks in between their spells. But with some of the bigger fights, you're constantly looking at the mechanics of the boss, trying to figure out what to run away from, and all the red and the fire and all that kind of stuff. So it's enough for you to heal pretty well, keep everybody alive, and dodge all the crap yourself. You won't be thinking too much about all the little auto attacks and stuff until you find a spot where you're just free to chain DPS. Regen as soon as we engage. Looking at the light heal for the ground. A couple people taking damage. Okay, light heal. Smite this guy and auto attack a little bit. It's a pretty dungeon, but I feel like one of the less interesting ones. I don't mind. This is fun doing a little AoE. A little spear move. So the smite thing that I do is a smite attack that you cast, and then each of your light attacks deal empowered damage, like 40% more damage for the next 5 or 6 seconds. So it's definitely useful in PvP, and just useful with your DPS. Now it's not that expensive to cast. That's kind of your, you know, unless you really want to get fancy or run around using the spear like I was doing. The main thing you really want to do when you're not healing is throw that smite down so you can throw some light attacks. You guys are really targeting me now, so I'm going to deal with him. Oh shit. Oh, look at that. Already killed me. He never taunted him off me either. That's annoying. Come on, Ramirez. Who's the tank anyway for this team? Okay, the high level guy's the tank. That's good. Really weird that he didn't heal, or he didn't taunt. There's no AoE taunt in this game from what Nick said. So a lot of the stuff is very single target, which means when you have these AoE groups, like you just need to burst them down or just deal with the ad that's on you. Unless you call out specifically that you need help, and even then, most of the time, the only answer is just to kill it quickly. So, you know, you want to, especially in serious dungeons, you would want to avoid using any AoE. And the ads that go on you is a pretty big headache. For the tank and for you. Out of inventory space. Destroy the fish. You don't have the ESO premium subscription now, so you're not able to carry near as much of inventory. So sometimes I end up just mailing half of this crap to Squawk. Or actually, more often than not, I just destroyed it, but... I think this guy just keeps spawning until you kill him. He's one of those AV things. That's right. Inventory full again? Yep. He's already ready for the boss. This boss keeps on yanking people to him. They're at random, or it's like his second threat or something. I'm keeping my debuff on him. Use my little heal over time because it's cheap. 8% of my mana right now. Ult's charging up. Right now the ult's just a damage over time. I think I have a big healing ult too, but if you put only healing spells in this guy's bar, I think it's just too much. You don't have enough mana to use all those heals. Yeah, I'm on his threat level now. Ult is up, and ads are there, so... Oh yeah, they're gonna fight me now. There, I just spear them all down. Fucking YOLO, bro. He's my big heal now. Heavy attacks to get a little mana back. Just my heal over time should be good enough now. Now that my mana's back, I can switch to light attacks. Spear down some of these walls. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. I like having to target and move around a lot in dungeons, I really do. My inventory is full, but let's see what we got.
By the ebony blade, this is it.
Restoration
We
staff,
found the
but we're keeping
shrine.
our training gear right now, so I don't really care too much about it. Oh, you get 25, nice. Alright. I'm gonna clean up my inventory, send my character a few of your trash items, and handle it up. Good job, bro.